Now I want you to talk through the lap. Feel free to brake and accelerate the video as you wish, but let's start now again and you have a look at it.
Right, now that was very good, and worth having a look at that there, because you drive a car as much with your feet as you do with your hands, and you can see that as he goes into the corner, he begins to decrease the brake pressure now. There, quite good, a little bit of oversteer, but it's probably power there. Let's keep having a look, but watch the rate that he comes off the brake pedal as he should increase the steering there. Notice that was a perfect one. That'll be worth looking at again. But watch that brake pedal and look at the hand goes on as he decreases the brake pressure there. This one here, very good. Okay, now there, that's a slightly separate problem, that one. In that instance, and again he would fix it the next lap, he came off the brake pedal quite suddenly. There goes in there, so it comes off a little bit suddenly. Now, if you just stop there, we just explain that in that instance, unlike the previous corner, he came off the brake a little more suddenly. It created a tiny bit of push that he would be able to feel, understeer. He would be able to feel through the steering wheel. It's not that obvious, but just as he comes off the brake pedal, then the front grips, bit of push, and then the front bites.
Yeah.
After with a bit more steering on, the back end comes out. So that was a bit of a sudden brake decrease. Now there, it's interesting that he was going, just thought, oh, a little bit quick, and his instinct was to use the right foot to slow the brake down, but they didn't need to.
Yes,
and then thought, no, it's
funny
okay.
though, isn't it?
He did that well. He does right foot.
I mean, when he's with you, he heel and toes, obviously.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. That was very, very nice. Then to come back there again, and once again you can see he just coming off that. It's the rate you come off that brake pedal, and as you do it, just coming off.
Now, to the layman would say, well, he just released the brake pedal. How can you say that is a beautiful release of the brake pedal?
Because you just constantly, just slowly coming off in a very subtle fashion. There, right now, just coming off there nicely like that. That's very, very nice, and it makes a huge difference. Rather than just coming off it too suddenly and taking the weight off the nose, staying on it and locking up. You can't feel it, but if you were in the car with him, you would feel that rate of decrease. That's how it should feel. And that's what you'd always be looking for. And the little ones where he's come off it a little bit suddenly, the other one where he's just come off it halfway and thought, oh, I better wait for a minute, and done it again, he would know, Valtteri would know that was not quite right, and he would be working to get that feeling there. And it's only,
he looks like he's got a bit of a feeling of satisfaction on his face there at that moment, doesn't he? He's just got it absolutely right.
Yeah, it was coldly determined there. He can often look more friendly than that. And there, it's off a little bit too suddenly, and then you suddenly get the oversteer. And sometimes, of course, that creates understeer. Then the front grips, and you got too much steering on, you get oversteer.
Yeah, it was interesting when we spoke last week that the subject turned to Lewis possibly doing a better job with the back end of the car when it's a little bit loose and unsettled. And look, obviously, it's very difficult to feel that or to see any of that evidence on this lap here, but what you're confident in is that he's very, very good at manipulating the front of the car.
He is, and it's possible Lewis feels that coming, corrects it a fraction.
Feels that
sooner.
looser.
Maybe,
end,
but I mean, I know Valtteri's very good at that as well. I mean, when they're together, we were talking a few hundredths of a second around Mexico or places.
Well, he
like
out-qualified Lewis 3 or 4 times
this year. So we're not saying, oh, Lewis can do this and Valtteri can't. It's the matter is the car, would Valtteri prefer a slightly different rear end or something? It'll be a tiny adjustment.
Yeah. All your talk seems to be on steering and brakes. You don't talk very much about the throttle, and yet the throttle, when you do one of your Bruntingthorpe days, teasing the throttle and how you apply the throttle is just as important, right?
Yes, well, you see, here, that's a little bit too much throttle, but he already knows that. But what's awkward here is this is a huge car with a lot of horsepower on a very little tight track, and it's going to be very easy to turn it into a dirt track, type acceleration. And he'd be thinking, I'll just keep my foot down, I'll deal with it.
I'll drift the thing.
Yeah, and if he was going for the ultimate pole position, he'd say, well, I need to tie that rear end down a little bit, or be a bit more judicious with the use of the throttle.